Well, welcome back from that break. Let's dive into the conversation. And with me in the studio this evening is Dr. Obayemi Olukayode, who is a political scientist and international relations expert. You're highly welcome. Glad to have you in the studio.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Well, thank you. Well, let's begin with today's discussion. We woke up to a shocking news today, which is the increase in the PMS, and this is making it the third time the nnpcl is increasing the PMS price. I mean, how would you react to it, or how does that make you feel as a Nigerian?
Yeah, thank you. It was really shocking and very surprising because we woke up again. We thought we have gotten to the end of these incessant changes in fuel prices, but you wake up every day, you hear another different news. It was really very embarrassing to me. I was shocked that again, we thought we would have some respite. We thought we would have some breathing space with this recent increase. But it's unfortunate that we are waking up to see this again this morning. I'm sure most Nigerians are not really happy about this.
No Nigerian is happy about this. Even me as a Nigerian, I am not happy about it. So I don't think there is any Nigerian that is happy about the recent development. But then let me ask you this: we thought the existence of a Dangote refinery was going to make the case, was going to bring relief to the people. But with what we woke up to today, that the reverse seemed to be the case. So would you rather say Dangote refinery is a blessing to Nigerian, or the other way around?
Yeah, frankly speaking, it's a big blessing, because at the end of the day, we're going to get it right, because we can't continue like this. An investment of over $20 billion will definitely be a blessing to any economy in the world. But we Nigerians, and the way people are manipulating the situation, is making it look as if it's a curse on the Nigerian people. It's supposed to be a big blessing, and I'm sure it's still going to be. But this initial teaching manipulations by nnpcl and some other Nigerians who are interested in the subsidy is really creating the problem. So because we heard that Dangote was in a meeting with the president yesterday, and Kyari and the Minister of Finance, we were told after the meeting that by Dangote that people are not buying from him, that they are still importing fuel. We don't really understand what is happening. This game has become a very terrible game that we are confused. We don't know what. If somebody is producing and he said you can come and buy from him locally, which will definitely bring down the prices of these things, why are you still importing? There are some private individuals are still importing, nnpcl is still importing. That's what they said it, that it has fuel for people, but they are not coming up. So we don't really know what is happening. And the cabal that is behind this thing that is suffering Nigerians should know there's God, because it's no more ordinary. It's becoming so, it's becoming unexplainable. You can't really understand. You say, what is happening? When we now have this thing locally, it's supposed to have given us that respite, to have given us that breathing space, that things will come down. Look at the prices of the price of crude in the international market. It has come down, but ours is going up. What is happening? It's supposed to have a kind of positive effect on the local prices. But the negative, the other side is the case for Nigeria, because of the mismanagement or the kind of lack of ability to manage the foreign exchange market, and also the fuel issue. The foreign exchange market is one creating problem for this economy. We're supposed to have reduction in price, reduction in the prices of crude oil at the international market, but the reverse is our own case here. And I hope those who are behind it will allow government to do the right thing, and will also allow Nigeria to enjoy the fruit of Dangote's investment in our economy.
All right. Okay, viewers, at this point, our phone lines are now open for you to call in to give in your contribution or join the conversation. I heard you mention about cabals behind the nnpcl and the increment in the PMS price, while we still have the existence of Dangote refinery. It's quite unfortunate. We are still seeing this happen. But the truth is, I've come to ask some persons. We haven't seen Mr. President say a single word or interfere in this increment in PMS since the nnpcl started increasing the corn price, making it the third time, and this is the third time. But Mr. President hasn't said a word. how would you react to that? Because some persons will say, okay, it has gone from NNPC to NNPCL, so Mr. President, has no say. But the truth is that Mr. President is still the Minister of Petroleum.
Yeah, I think the problem is Mr. President is looking at this issue as a business matter, as a commercial matter, in the sense that if they fail because they have deregulated the prices of fuel or crude, that we should allow the market forces to take control. But it's not done anywhere in the world. Where you live, especially a basic item that is important in people's life, to the manipulation of the market forces. You have to bring in some social intervention, because you are doing this thing for the people. If you allow it to be manipulated or to be controlled by market forces, then we will find ourselves buying fuel at 2,000 naira per fuel if we are not careful. So the president should intervene. I know he knows what is going on. Nobody will say the president does not know what is going on. There's nothing they will do. He had a meeting with Kyari, with Dangote, and the Minister of Finance, Mr. Edmundwale, yesterday, meaning that he is the Minister for Petroleum. He knows what is going on. But it's like he feels he has deregulated, he has removed the subsidy, so we should allow it to flow anyhow. If it flows anyhow, it's going to lead to more problems for the people. And it's really creating problems for the people.
All right, I think we have a caller here. Let's quickly hear. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Glad to have you join us on the show. Your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm Joseph. I'm calling from Enugu.
All right, Joseph from Enugu. Please go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay, you are discussing the current price hike on petroleum products.
Exactly.
Yeah, the problem we have is that we're not telling ourselves the truth.
Okay.
Because they are talking about demand and supply, determining the price of our petroleum. But if you check an international market, the crude is dropping. Okay. We expected that to also affect our pricing in our country. But it's not affecting it. It's going up. That is beyond what is in economics, because they are talking about demand and supply. Okay. So we don't know what is happening. We don't know who is telling the truth. NNPC may not be telling the truth, and we're not. We don't know what you. We just like the person you are with that is in the studio is talking about cabal, just trying to suffer us unduly. So you see, petrol is supposed to be something that fuel is being produced in this country, and we should enjoy it because it's a resource given to us by God, not by politicians. All right. So we should enjoy this resource, just like they were making comparison of prices. In Libya, which that is also a major player in the oil industry, a liter of fuel there is about 53 naira. So can you do the comparison between 53 and the 1,000 to 1,003 that is selling our country? So we should do something because it's affecting our lives. People are hungry, people are dying. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your contribution, and have yourself a wonderful evening.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I was going to ask, Doctor, now this crude and what we are suffering is a God-given gift. Why should Nigerians suffer so much to get it? But before you take that question, let's quickly hear what the scholar have got to say. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Glad to have you join us on the show. Your name and where you're calling us from?
Okay, I'm Pastor Emmanuel calling from Togo.
All right, Emmanuel, kindly turn down the volume of your TV set so I can hear you clearly.
Okay, I'm out of the place now.
All right.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, great. Please go ahead.
Okay, please. The issue of fuel prices in Nigeria is so much because the masses are suffering a lot. Like in some places in my place, we buy fuel at the cost of 2,000 naira per liter.
Oh, wow.
Imagine the kind of challenges and with the kind of transition that people are passing through now. What exactly is the government encouraging the people for? These things are natural resources that we have. It's not as if we are buying it or getting it from elsewhere to survive. We have it here, but yet the masses are still suffering the same way they are suffering. These same people fought for them to be in good position. But when they get into position of helping the common man in the street, they now do it in the other way of slavery and enslaving our people. It's probably out of place.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution and have yourself a wonderful evening. Doctor, please, I would like you to respond to that question. I said, this is a natural given resources by God, but why do Nigerians have to suffer so much for it?
Yeah, because our leaders and those who have been in a position of authority who are supposed to manage these resources, these God-given resources to us, efficiently for us to benefit, have not really been doing that. Most of the time, people are, I don't know why presidents should make themselves ministers of
but then, you remember a few days ago, Mr. President said Nigerians should convert their vehicles to CNG or buy petrol at the cost of 1,000 plus. Do you think that is the reason behind the silence of Mr. President?
No, that's just at the level of policy pronouncement. Where are the CNG things? We are not seeing it. I don't know whether you are seeing them on the street, but we are not seeing those things they say we should convert to. We have cars and we are ready to do if it's going to be more profitable, but where are those things? They are just at the level of political pronouncements, political proclamations. They are not really on the ground for us to see.
Okay, well, but then I will have to hold you there. Let's quickly hear. Hello, good evening. If you can hear me, good evening.
Good evening.
Glad to have you join us on the show. Your name and where you're calling us from. Oh, we lost that caller. Please, you were saying something.
Yes, as I was saying, these things are not really readily available for the masses to utilize them or to engage them in their daily activities. So if they really want to do things, let us see these things. We saw a lot of launching on the TV in Lagos and in Abuja, but where are the things? We are not seeing them. So government should learn to devise very good implementation policies rather than just making pronouncements. These are just at the level of pronouncements. We've not seen them. And concerning our resources, these God-given resources, our leaders, most of the people who have had the opportunity of ruling this country, would have just, some of them have tried, but some of them, most of them have just been utilizing these resources for their own personal. If you see the most thriving business in this country, I've observed, I don't know whether you have observed in the course of your activities, that if you see anybody that is very rich in this country, is either in oil and gas.
Really?
I'm telling you, all these people all over the place, look into their profile, they will say it's an expert in oil and gas. Why is it this oil and gas that God are giving us that some people have aggrandized to themselves alone? Where are they taking this money to? You see, at times I sit down and reason that, why can't our people, our leaders just sit down and think that let us allow our people to be happy. Nigerians are not happy. The people are not happy. Should happiness only be in the house of a few? Should happiness only be in the home of a few? No, that is not life. Life should be enjoyed by everybody, by the majority. And this is the one God has given us, and some people are aggrandizing it to themselves alone. So I hope God will touch their heart, because at times I ask myself,
I think we've gotten to a point in this country where we don't just, keep calling on God, because God will not come down from heaven and do a whole lot of things for us. So if you look at it, it's just about taking good policies. But then, do you see this, the recent developments, as a disregard of the people?
That is the way we can look at it. Because while people are still shouting, they are still groaning under the pains of the recent increase, you will just see, before you open your eyes, you have seen another painful policies coming up. The president, maybe he has good intention, should systematically implement some of these
presidents have a good intention. What do you mean when these intentions aren't felt by Nigerians? We can't even see them, we can't even feel them. So what's the guarantee that the intentions are good?
That's what they are saying. The officials and president themselves are always saying you should endure, you should bear the pains, the end is going to be good. Let's assume that, maybe because when they say it as if they are sure of what they are saying, let us assume that they are sure of what they are saying, that at the end of the day the painful policies are going to bring out good dividends. But while you are doing that, put some measurable form of implementation. That it should not be, when you hit a drum, the drum too much, when you hit a drum too much, it tears. So, but when you bring gradually, there could be some pressure, but at the same time, there should be some little kind of relaxation in the process. So the policies may be good, but we should at least have some measures that will at least give some people some relief. Give the people some relief while they are going through this pace. We know they are painful. They themselves said they know they are painful. But by the time you apply too many painful measures at the same time, the people will collapse. And when most Nigerians are there, who are the people that are going to benefit from these good policies we are talking about? Let's assume they are good. But presently, the pains are just too much. Every day, as I was sitting down waiting for this program in the studio here, somebody called me from Asaba, a very young lady of about maybe 18, 20. Said, Daddy, I'm hungry. I said, I'm hungry. He said, no food since morning. No. And what about your parents? They're not there. They don't have to. So our government should hear that Nigerians are really suffering. And they should come out with good policies. The policies they are doing, they should do it systematically. They should do it in a way that we should have some, as we are putting the painful policies in place, let us also be putting some measures that will help us suiting the pains amongst the people, so that we don't end up collapsing the people, we don't end up liquidating the people.
Hello.
All right. Good evening.
Good evening.
We're glad to have you join us on the show. Your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is calling from Lugbe.
All right. Oh, please go ahead with your thoughts.
Yeah. I'm seeing your program.
Okay.
Are you sure what you people are saying? The president is hearing you?
We are playing our part.
Because he's only not talking to us, only to the public. But let the president, let him hear what you people are discussing. It's very important. Yes.
All right.
Because everybody is suffering. We are suffering. Every day, every month, they increase the toll price. Every month, increase. Every month. Is that fair to the masses? Everybody is suffering. You go to market, you cannot even buy a roasted corn. You can't. Yes.
All right.
They will just say the way they are breaking it, they pay a lot of transport money.
All
So
right.
please, you people better talk to the people that are concerned. They are playing with the intelligence of this country. I don't understand.
All right.
Yes.
Thank you very much for your contribution, and have yourself a great evening. It is well.
It's serious.
But there seems to be a lack of transparency in the petroleum industry as a whole. Because we don't understand what is actually going on. There's been a consistent caller. Let's quickly hear what the caller has got to say. Hello, good evening. Oh, we lost that caller. Sorry, you might have to call us back. So we know that there seems to be a lack of transparency in the NNPC, industry. But then, how do you think this can be amended? Because we don't know who to hold again, since we are being told that we are looking up to Mr. President and he hasn't said anything up until now. And the NNPCL has refused to buy from Dangote refinery, has refused to, patronize Dangote refinery, unlike other marketers too. So what do you think is the way forward? Because it's not news that there is a whole lot of lack of transparency in the NNPCL. But what do you think is the way forward? While the cabinet reshuffle is going on, do you think that of the head of the petroleum industry should be, relieved of his duty too?
Yeah, I wanted to talk about, before you talk over it, I want to talk about Mile Kyari. The man he has served Nigeria in mouth. And they should also try another hand. He's been there.
You're saying he should be, Mr. President should
try another hand. Because this man has done it for years, more than 4 or 5 years now, I'm sure, or maybe 3 or 4 years. And the thing is not, when you try a hand on, when you try somebody on something and you're not getting a different result, try another hand.
Okay.
You understand?
Yeah. But
I know the president himself is very vast in the international oil politics. He knows the dynamics. And let our leaders just be sincere with the people. The problem is that the rich, the few, have really gotten hold of the oil resources, and they want to keep it to themselves. They should allow Nigerians to have a feel of the natural gift that God has endowed Nigeria with. Because if we decide to allow just a few to be enjoying this thing, I hope we are not stuck in the embers of hate and discord, because the people are getting so the pressure is becoming too much on the people.
All right, thank you very much, and let's hear what this caller. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening. Glad to have you join us on the show. Your name and where you're calling us from. All right, please go ahead with your contribution.
Excuse me, I just want to ask this very question. The president promises to fix our refinery in 6 months. That is the first question.
Okay.
The second one is that which area is this government working on? Which area are they working on? If they say they are working, which area particularly are they working on?
All right.
Those are the 2 questions I want to ask.
Okay. Thank you very much for your contribution, and you just stick around and hear that question being answered by my guest. Hello, good evening. Kindly turn down the volume of your TV set so we can hear you clearly.
Good evening.
Good evening. Glad to have you join us. Your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Honorable Lokoja from.
What?
Honorable Lokoja from Patrick.
Okay, please go ahead with your contribution.
Okay, I just have a little advice for the presidency.
Okay.
To look into the hardship of the country. The youth are angry. Because the cost of living in this country has become what husband and wife cannot even live together again. So you should look into that, check into the policy, and reduce the cost of high living.
All right.
That is the piece of advice I have for the president.
All right. Thank you very much, and have yourself a great evening. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Hello, good evening. Oh, sorry, you might have to call us back. Someone asked a certain question. He said, which area has the government really worked on? Where have they really worked? As in, what when you say, okay, petroleum industry, apart from that, where with the policies they've made so far and they are making, has there been any area that Nigerians are feeling the impact? That's the question the previous caller asked, and I want you to answer that, of course, because do you think maybe some other persons are not, and maybe you are? Is there any area which you are feeling the impact of these policies being taken by this administration?
Yeah, I'm not a government official to that extent of I mean the policies of the present government is their own political program that the party have designed, that they have designed for themselves, that they say they are implementing. But as an ordinary Nigerian, I've not really seen.
You've not seen.
Power is breaking down. Power is breaking down every day. National grid. For the past 2 days, I think there's a problem with that grid again. Petroleum prices always on the increase. I don't really know what to pinpoint to this past 1.5 years or so that has really been done, except what we see on television that is being advertised, that they are sending money to some people, they are doing this to some people, there is foreign direct investment coming in. We see that at the level of policy pronunciation, announcement that they are doing something, but in the real sense of it, I have not seen, maybe because I have not really worked or gone too far into the areas that they are doing it. But as far as I'm concerned, this government need to really sit down and tell Nigerians and work towards hold a particular issue.
So in other words, you're saying the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu isn't working?
It's left for Nigerians to judge, but personally, I have not seen anything seriously. They are putting in place certain policies that, in their own belief, they believe will work and help the economy to be revived. But we are not seeing the results. Yes, but what they are telling us is that we should have patience, that the result will come, and we are all going to enjoy. Hoping, we are still hoping, but for now, me, I can't say I've seen anything that we can say has really. You see, you wake up every day, you start hearing stories. Are these stories really good? That's the question we should ask ourselves. You see, Nigerians were so happy. One thing that we would have adduced to this government, we would have attached as a successful thing for this government, though it started before they came, is this Dangote thing. that came on board operationally during this administration. Though they have been on preparing during the Buhari administration or even before then. But at least it was actualized. They started loading petroleum during this regime. We will have attached that success to this regime. But that success now is turning all. It's turning very, very distressful, because it's not bringing solace to the sufferings of the people. It's not bringing a solution to the problems of the people. Rather, it's price heightening every day. So government should sit down and ask themselves. You came to Nigerians to say to tell them that you are going to improve their livelihood. You are going to improve their conditions. What in the past 1.5 years have we done? They should ask that question themselves.
So the government should ask, and they should be left with that question to answer.
Yes, because some of us cannot.
Okay, we woke up the day Mr. Bola Tinubu took office. He said subsidy is gone, and in the last 2 months, this is the 3rd time the nnpcl is increasing the pump price, and one will wonder, has it become a norm? Because okay, we wake up today and we don't know what news might be broken to Nigerians. Should it become a norm? And do you think this is fair enough to a growing economy? And I wouldn't even know how far we've grown now. But before you take that question, we need to hear from this caller. Hello, good evening. Oh, we lost that caller. Sorry, you might have to call us back. Please, how do you think this is affecting our economy, the growth of our economy generally?
Yeah, the various policies the government has put in place, according to their own assessment and pronouncement, is going to help the economy. But we are not seeing it yet. But we know before we start seeing results, there may be some little kind of discomfort in the process of implementing government policies. But like I said earlier on, it should not be this discomfort all the time. Government should blend their fiscal and commercial or business policies with social considerations. They should consider the interest of the people. How are these policies, both physical and commercial, impacting on the welfare of the people? Because the function of government in anywhere in the world is to provide security and the welfare of the people. So whatever we are doing that is not enhancing the welfare of the people should be properly looked into. And let us re-strategize. If what we are doing is not working well, let's re-strategize. You
think the government, this administration, needs to re-strategize?
Seriously.
Okay.
Seriously.
Hello, good evening. Hello. Good evening. Glad to have you join us on the show. Your name and where you're calling us from. You have just 60 seconds.
I'm Godwin, calling from Sokoto.
Godwin from Sokoto. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Yeah, on the issue of the price of the fuel, for me, I wish to suggest if the government, there is no need of the government removing the subsidy, because at the first time the subsidy was removed, it was a welcome idea. But now, if that's the check, where is the money going to? The money of the subsidy that the government withdrawn, where is it going to? The question there. The government should stand a chance to answer that to us. Because the price of everything is increasing due to the fuel price. Yeah, so the question here should be, where is the money of the subsidy into? And if there's not any genuine answer, then better they should be paying the subsidy so everyone will be benefiting.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution, and have yourself a wonderful evening. Tell us why you think the government should re-strategize. And again, someone just said, where is the subsidy money going into? Because up to now, Nigerians are yet to, figure out where this subsidy removal money is, invested, because we can't even feel it. As the recent reports on the healthcare centers, about 50% of our private healthcare centers have shut down due to the inflation rate and the rest of it. We can even talk about our education sector. Oh, of course, just yesterday or thereabouts, NASU and SANU have begun strike. So not growth. So where exactly is this money going into? And please, I want you to answer that.
Yeah, concerning that, I think government should also look into the problem of corruption, because the leaders may tell us they have good intentions, but a lot of fraudulent things going on under this government.
Okay.
In the various ministries, in the various parastatals, a lot of manipulations are going on. The president should dedicate his time to fighting corruption, because when you save funds that go into corrupt practices, a lot of money can be invested in other sectors that will reflect the good intentions of this government. So corruption is one thing that, to me, has not really abated in Nigeria. It's becoming more and more, is magnifying by the day. Different strategies. So the president and the government should look into to plug these leakages. When you plug it, that's where you can even see the money that you said you have saved from removal of subsidies. The fund saved can only be, it's when you have the fund has not been frittered away by corrupt practices that you can say you have something that you have saved. And government should also reduce the expenses so seriously. There are a lot of unnecessary expenses that we are engaging in.
And what expenses are you talking about?
Like people have been talking about innovation of the vice president team, buying of jets, buying of these things. Those are things that should be put on hold for now. Yes, if you are saying Nigeria should manage, Nigeria should endure the suffering, our leaders too should be seen as managing and also enduring, and not be involved in profligate or very wasteful spending.
All right.
If we don't have money, we should manage and do things that are necessary, not the flamboyant type.
Hello, good evening. Oh, sorry, you might have to call us back. Okay, now the question is, where is the subsidy money going into?
That's what we are saying, because what they are saving from subsidy now should have reflected in programs.
What program exactly are you
like they should invest it in other sector of the economy that will give relief to the people, like transportation. Let there be cheap transportation. They said they are bringing in all this CNG thing. The government should also flood the country with mass buses. The train facility should be improved.
Nigerians will agree to conversion of CNG.
You see, how many Nigerians?
You as a Nigerian, but I want to start with you as a Nigerian. But before then, let me hear this caller. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. You might have to call us back, and please, when you do, please ensure to turn down the volume of your TV set so we can hear you clearly. And I was asking you as a Nigerian, would you agree to conversion of CNG? Because if you're saying we've not seen it, maybe you've not done your search very well. When you do, there are actually, agencies or places that you can do conversion. But will you as a Nigerian agree to converting your car to CNG car? I want you to answer that before after hearing this caller. Hello, good evening. Good evening. Glad to have you join us on the show. Your name and where you're calling us from. You have just 60 seconds.
Yes, I'm Mr. Michael from Nigeria.
Okay, Mr. Michael, please go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Oh, please turn down the volume of your TV set. I barely hear you.
Okay, ma, I do. I'm okay now.
All right, please go ahead with your thoughts.
I'm not sure we have leaders in this country any longer. Because our president said he is in charge of petroleum in Nigeria.
Okay.
And this why all Nigerians have been crying, saying, telling our president, please talk to us. It is a to talk to us. But how are we going to do this? Are we going to do this way? We are the one, we have the petrol in our country. We are when some other people are now saying that we should expect that this our own petrol is more special, that we have to buy it costly. I don't just understand. We spend a lot of money to put the refinery in Patagon here, close to me, and even very close to other here. That they should replace, and they are just consuming the money, nothing is done to it. These are our country, they should keep them up, because tomorrow anything can happen that every person will now say, yes, it's time for us to stand up, because like everybody just hanging around. When someone will bring somebody upward,
all right.
Say, yes, enough is enough. I believe this will be put in the right thing. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you very much, and have yourself a wonderful evening. I want to ask you certain questions around the refineries, because we are going through what we are into because our refineries are not working. But do you see our refineries do you have the belief, or are you hopeful that our refineries will work, knowing the cabals that is going on in the fixing of the refinery? Do you think the refinery, is there hope of the refinery working ever?
I'm sorry, at my level, I will say categorically that I've lost hope in the process of revamping our refineries in Port Harcourt, Kaduna, and so on. Because we have been on this thing. They say turnaround maintenance. I've been hearing this turnaround maintenance thing since I was in the university almost about 40-something years ago. And we have not really turned around this refinery. So when are we going to turn it around? When are we going to turn them around? Is it when some of us are dead? So I've really lost hope, my sister, because you see, Nigerians, because I think there's a deliberate attempt by some people to kill this refinery so that they don't work, so that they can continue to import and get cheap money. Because people who are importing, who are bringing this thing, they are getting huge money within a very short period of time. Rather than going through production, all this while, that one is a long process for them. They want quick money.
Quick money. And
that's why these refineries are not working.
All right.
It has been there for decades. Turning around and paying people huge millions of naira as salaries. Indeed. And nothing is coming out of that place.
Indeed.
It's really very sad. Very, very sad.
It is a sad one.
Very sad.
Hello, good evening. Please move away from your television set so I can hear you. Or you might have to call us back. Turn down the volume of your TV set so I can hear you.
Okay. I hope you can hear me now.
Perfect. Please go ahead with your contribution.
Are you hearing me now?
Very well.
Okay. So how is the work?
Very well, thank you. Your name and where you're calling us from. You have just 60 seconds.
I'm calling from Kuala in FCT.
Okay.
Yes, honestly, I'm watching you people live, and to be frank, the fuel price is something that we cannot even write home about. Honestly, Nigerians are dying because of hunger. If you go to market, you cannot buy anything. Your money cannot buy anything. Even if you carry 50,000 naira to market, you cannot even buy things that worth that 50,000 naira. So the government should look into it and do something about it. Nigerians are dying in hunger, please.
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution, and have yourself a great evening. Okay. Dan, the question is, how do we navigate through this? Because thank God you're here with me in the studio, and you're hearing Nigerians vent out their own anger and pain. Are you worried that if should this continue, this might likely lead to revolution? Are you worried about that?
Yeah, like I said earlier on, all these things present government is doing, and they believe is for the interest of the country. These things are not really palatable at all. To me, they are stoking the amber of discord, and the people are not really happy. It's like they are stirring the honest nest. And when you stir the bees hive, the bees will come out. And I hope we don't get to that stage. So they should not overstretch their luck. They should not think there's nothing anybody can do.
Why do you call it a luck? I want you to answer why you call it a luck, but then let's see what this caller have got to say. Good evening, and glad to have you join us on the show. Your name and where you're calling us from.
Good evening, ma.
Good evening, sir. Glad to have you join us.
I am Clement from Makurdi.
Clement from Makurdi, please go ahead with your contribution, and you have just 60 seconds.
I said I'm Clement, calling from Makurdi.
Oh, very well. I can hear you clearly. I say you have just 60 seconds. Glad to have you.
First of all, I want to thank the man that is anchoring this program.
Okay.
He has said everything that he can. But everybody who is making a call, it's all centered on one thing, on fuel. We are surely dying.
Okay. Are you still there?
Yes, go.
Oh, sorry. I think that's the network, and you might have to call us back. I sincerely apologize for that interruption. So why did you say they are lucky? Are they lucky to because it's a public office? They are meant to serve the people. So how come is it a luck? I don't see that.
They are lucky because God has granted them opportunity to be in that office among over 200 million Nigerians. And the president and those who have been fortunate or privileged to have been appointed ministers on the public, they are all privileged people. It's a big opportunity, and they should write their names on the sand of history, put their names in gold so that people will remember them.
Wow. All right.
It's a big opportunity.
Hello, good evening.
Hello?
Good evening. Glad to have you join us on the show. Your name and where you're calling us from. Your name is what? Turn down the volume of your TV set. Please, whenever you call on the show, kindly turn down the volume of your TV set so I can hear you clearly. For the last caller, you might have to call us back before we wrap up the show. So then the problem is there is nothing we can do in this country without the use of fuel, that is the PMS, because when you talk about goods and services, transportation and the rest of it, production, everything boils down to the PMS. And now we wake up every single day with surprising news of, oh, the PMS has been increased. It has gone from 1,013 naira to 1,016 naira, and tomorrow we don't know what we might even wake up to. So what is your honest advice to this administration in regards of this terrible situation?
Yeah, there are two basic things that affect Nigerian economy in a very serious way if they are not well managed. The foreign exchange system and the fuel issue, the oil sector. These are very volatile sectors that affect the economy in a very devastating way if they are not well managed. So government should know should now devise a new way of managing our foreign exchange system.
So what is the new way exactly? I want to find out. We know some persons have said, okay, the DG of the petroleum industry should go, that of the NNPC should go. But if he goes, do you see that as a solution to the problem? But before then, I quickly want to hear from this last caller before we call it a wrap. Good evening. Oh, we lost that caller. Please, kindly in few seconds, what should be done in the petroleum sector to, bring an end to this crisis that Nigerians keep facing every single day? Because there is nothing we can do in this country without PMS.
Yeah, that's what we said earlier on, that the local refineries should be revamped. If this is what President Tinubu and his administration will achieve for Nigeria within these 4 years, or if he has another opportunity, they should focus on that. What is hard in revamping what we have? If the equipments are obsolete, let them renew them. So the local refineries will play a long role, because of this importation, because of this position that we are having this volatility in the foreign exchange market, because a lot of money is required to bring in foreign fuel. So they should look into the local refinery. I think that's one of the major things that will be done that can help us.
Okay. Good evening. If you can hear me, good evening. Glad to have you join us. Your name and where you're calling us from.
My name is Hassan. I'm calling from Benue State.
Hassan from Benue State. Please go ahead with your contribution.
I want to ask who is the Minister for Petroleum?
You know the answer to that already, I guess.
We don't have Minister for Petroleum. Then how can we talk to? Who can we talk to? The president is with that ministry. It's part of the reason that this where something is like this.
Okay.
Let's have a person who can talk to.
Oh, okay.
All ministries have ministers. Why is it difficult for them to have minister for petroleum? Because of their fraudulent acts and the intention. So until we have, look at all of them. Suzanne was there, she was there, and the price was not like this. If you check our record, when you used to have minister for petroleum, the price is who can someone take the person and talk to the person.
All right.
Can you go and someone
All right. Thank you very much for your contribution, and have yourself a wonderful evening. Hello. Good evening. If you can hear me, good evening. Please turn down the volume of your TV set. You might have to call us back, please, and when you do, turn down the volume of your TV set. Someone is saying that that there should be a creation of Minister for Petroleum, that Mr. President should resign as the Minister for Petroleum. Do you think that will solve the problem?
You see, the essence of the past 5 presidents that we have always been the individual in charge of the petroleum industry. And I think the essence of that idea is to ensure that the president has a direct monitoring and supervision of what is going on in that sector. Yeah. But we are not getting results for all this. And like the caller said, he said when we used to have ministers that are different from the sitting president, there was kind of a decorum and kind of a positive development in the sector. If you look at it from there, the idea of making the president the Minister of Petroleum has not really brought the required dividend that's ought to come from there, because it means the president should have direct access to policies and decisions in that sector.
So you have the opinion that the president should remain as the Minister of Petroleum?
Since this thing is not really bringing solutions the way we want it, they should try other experts in that area.
All right.
So that maybe when they appoint somebody who is specific, the person has a lot of things to do. He's thinking about the economy, he's thinking about politics, he's thinking about technology, he's thinking about every aspect of the Nigerian economy. So if maybe somebody is appointed, an expert, a known expert, sincerely, I think there could be an improvement, because the person will be devoted totally to facing the oil sector.
All right.
And improvement.
Good evening. Glad to have you join us. Your name and where you're calling us from?
I'm calling from Benue State. I called before.
All right. Please, when next you call, ensure that the volume of your TV set is low, so we can hear you from this end. Please go ahead.
Okay. I thank the man that is there. According to the program. He has said everything. If it is not easy to treat the country by the president, everybody is complaining, and it's on one thing, which is fuel. So the best thing now is that we should give government a chance. So they should look for another country that can manage Nigeria or borrow Nigeria out to another country to hold us until they put everything together. Then when we begin to see light at the end of the tunnel, they will now call Nigeria back home.
All right, thank you very much for.
If they don't return this subsidy, we will continue in this thing like this.
All right, thank you very much for.
Continue to buy fuel like that. Fuel is the cause of everything that is happening, and the president has to do something about this fuel shortage.
All right.
We have modular refineries. They were producing this fuel and we were buying it for. Now they cannot feed their refinery. Only one person was able, a person that is not a government, was able to produce the refineries on the start and completed everything. So what is kicking this thing? This thing that is happening. Are they not tired of this corruption? Where are they taking the money to? Will they not die? Everything we are hoping. Whatever you are mass on this earth, you must leave it.
All right. Thank you Thank you very much for your contribution, and have yourself a great evening. Hello, good evening. Glad to have you join us on the show. Your name and where you're calling us from. If you can hear me, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Okay, please go ahead with your contribution. And what's your name and where are you calling us from?
I'm Stephen by name.
Stephen by name. Please turn down the volume of your TV set.
Okay. Alright, let me turn it down.
Please go ahead with your thoughts. And you have just 60 seconds.
Okay. You see, the government of Nigeria is not...
I can barely hear you. Sorry, you might have to join the conversation some other time. And whenever you call, please ensure to turn down the volume of your TV set so you don't interrupt the discussion. At this point, this is where we have to call it a day. Thank you so much, Dr. Olukayode, for being with me in the studio this evening. It's been an impactful one with you. Thank you very much for coming. Yeah, and before I go, let me say, well, Nigerians, it is well. I have no words for what it is and the phase we are into, but I hope that the government whom the people have appointed to govern them can hear and feel the pain of the people. Until I come your way some other time, keep watching Kaftan Television. I am Messi MLZ. Have yourself the best of evening.